Hi everybody and welcome to On the Run from Las Vegas, Nevada. Yes, it's very late on day 3 of G2E, so they're breaking the show down around me. The press lounge has been closed, so we've hidden ourselves here in the co-working space, and I'm recording this on the run one day late. You're going to get it on Monday instead of Friday because it's been such a busy G2E. And in the background behind we have here Corey from CDC. Hi Corey, but he's busy doing something. But our strategic partners in Las Vegas, CDC Gaming Reports. I know a lot of you have learned about that company through IAG, which is great, and a lot of people have learned about IAG through CDC Gaming Reports in the US too, which is fantastic. Anyway, let's get into the news of the week, but just before that, I want to talk a little bit about some of my impressions of Las Vegas now that I've been here for nearly 2 weeks, actually, quite a long time in Las Vegas, catching up with people. The last week having a lot of meetings and just traveling around Las Vegas and looking at a few things, and this week of course being extremely busy with G2E. Very hard for me not to say G2E Asia, I've got to say just G2E. So the first thing I think I would like to say about Vegas is that business is booming wherever you go. It's very, very busy, and despite prices going up through the roof, ADRs are getting higher and higher. The cost of food in restaurants, the cost of everything basically involved in the integrated resort industry is just a lot higher than it used to be, but it doesn't seem to have affected the visitation in any way, shape or form. It's just absolutely booming. So this, I guess, validates the numbers that we've been seeing in our side of the world when we've been looking at Las Vegas and Nevada and seeing the GGR numbers come out each month, with Nevada having over $1 billion US in revenue month after month after month after month, and it now is a standard for Nevada to have over $1 billion in revenue. Their run rate's around 12 billion US a year. Still about half of what Macau is, but still a very large number indeed. And you have to remember that gaming is now only about a third of the revenue in Las Vegas. So whatever their gaming revenue is, you can double that, and that's their non-gaming revenue. Very different from what we have in Macau, of course, and in other parts of the Asia Pacific region. Venetian, let's talk about Venetian. So post Sheldon, of course, Mr. Adelson passing away a few years ago now, but not only post Mr. Adelson, but post Sands itself. Of course, Sands sold Venetian to Apollo for $6.25 billion US dollars, and so it's a new Venetian, not being run by Sands. Sands, really, their assets are only in Macau and Singapore, of course, although Sands, I do know, it's public knowledge that they're bidding for New York, and of course they're very interested in Thailand, as all the biggest companies in the world are. They're not interested in Japan. They pulled out of Japan, of course, but I'm sure they're interested in other places around the world where integrated resorts could be. And I think my comment on Venetian is that it's pretty much the same. I think it was set up in a certain way, and Apollo have just seemed to have continued it, and it's very busy. It's been a fantastic G2E here at Sands Expo, or Venetian Expo I should say, and they've catered to this event. The MICE team have done a really great job. It's been potentially, I think, possibly the biggest G2E ever. Certainly the biggest G2E ever for IAG, and I can see a lot of people here. Tuesday it was extremely busy, so Venetian is going just fine. Also, we're in a post-Maddox Wynn world, so I went over to Wynn Las Vegas yesterday, spent some time walking around the floor. Again, very, very busy, and met some senior executives over there. And it's a new Wynn under Craig Billings now, who has taken over from Matt Maddox, who of course was forced in when Steve Wynn himself left under those controversial circumstances back at that time. So Wynn is absolutely pumping, and I think it's now been a number of years, and I think the Wynn brand is going to survive what happened, the departure of Steve Wynn. I think that's pretty clear now. Resorts World Las Vegas, of course, a property of interest to us in Asia, being a Genting property and being owned directly by Genting Berhad. The chatter over here has been mixed to poor, I would say, on Resorts World Las Vegas. Not very profitable. Quite a big investment. I think it was $4.3 billion US dollars, and they're really struggling even just to break even. The ROI has not been good. There's been generally a lack of penetration for them in what is a booming Las Vegas. So that's concerning that they don't seem to be able to make any serious money. I've heard different reasons for this. I've heard that the rooms are too small. I've heard that there's brand confusion. On the top of the building there's Crockford's and there's Genting and there's Resorts World, or maybe not Genting, but there's Resorts World, and then there's Hilton, and all the hotel brands are up there, so it's kind of confusing to people who they are, especially given that they're new and they don't have the history that brands like Venetian or Palazzo or Wynn or even Caesars have in Las Vegas. And the other exciting piece of news out of Las Vegas is that Fontainebleau is finally, after I think 16 or 17 years of being built and changing hands and failing and being purchased, is finally going to be opening in December this year. And actually ran into Michael Clifford. Many of you guys will know Michael from his time at Wynn in Macau. Ran into him while I was here at the Venetian. Had a nice chat to him, and he'll be joining the team over there, or he has joined the team over there, and they're looking forward to the opening of that property in December this year. It's a very big property at the north end of the Strip. So quite interesting. And finally, I would mention downtown, and we've actually been staying downtown, and we went to the new Circa property downtown, had a meal there the other day, and a bit of a walk around the floor. They've got a magnificent sports book there, really impressive technology with enormous screens. And for downtown, not just Circa, but other properties as well seem to have cleaned up their acts, so downtown is not nearly as sort of old and dirty as it used to be. It's still got a bit of grittiness to it, that's for sure, but not as much as before, and they are doing very well. And I walked the Fremont Street Experience a few times midweek, and it was incredibly busy, and so downtown is also doing very well indeed. Now that I've taken up 7 minutes doing some commentary on Vegas, I'll go through this week's top 10 very quickly. I don't want to make the video too long, so let's start down at number 10. Number 10, Light & Wonder unveils Squid Game slot at G2E. So yes, Squid Game, of course, the number one hit for Netflix. South Korean sensation, received an enormous number of eyeballs, and I quite enjoyed it. Watched the whole thing in a weekend, and they've sold that brand and that IP to Light & Wonder, and Light & Wonder or licensed it or whatever they have. And then Light & Wonder announced here at G2E that they've got a slot machine, the Squid Game themed slot machine. There was a bit of noise here during the week about that. Steve Aoki, famous DJ over here, helped to launch it on the floor of the show. So congratulations to Light & Wonder on that. Number 9, MGM came out and announced that the hit to their EBITDAR, with an R on the end, will be around $100 million US dollars from the cyber attack that they suffered. Been a lot of media about that over the last few weeks, and it was sort of very devastating for them there. For a while they lost their email, they lost their scheduling, their hotel room keys weren't working. People were sort of saying things about slot machines not working, slot machines were shut down, all sorts of technology effects for MGM. And they've come out and said, look, this is going to cost us $100 million. They could have paid a ransom, but they decided not to. Congratulations to them. But they are also saying that it was covered completely by insurance. So while it may not cost them anything this time, if indeed it doesn't, ultimately there'll be a bit of argy-bargy between the insurance company and MGM, no doubt. Their premiums, and probably everybody else's premiums for cyber protection, will be going up this year for sure. Number 8, Alejandro Tengco, the chairman and CEO of PAGCOR, announced that the privatization that they're going through at the moment will be completed by 2028, and they're buying more than 3,000 slot machines. Well, not buying, I think they're rev sharing with the manufacturers more than 3,000 slot machines, new machines to go into the PAGCOR properties, and they're launching, of course, the CasinoFilipino.com brand. But we've done a lot of coverage of that, including this story on the cover of the September issue of IAG. Number 7, the Chinese embassy to the Philippines came out and said that they have been helping in crackdowns against POGOs. Nearly 500 Chinese citizens have been repatriated back to China. This is the first time for, I think, over a year that they've actually formally acknowledged that they are working with the Philippines to try and to minimise cross-border gambling facing the Chinese, facing China. So that's interesting that they are still involved in that, and it's very clear that China still doesn't want an online gaming industry out of the Philippines fielding to Chinese. Number 6, I interviewed on day 1 of G2E Alejandro Tengco, the chairman and CEO of PAGCOR. Had a lot to do with him in the last couple of months or so, and he announced that the term POGO is in the dustbin and that they will now be called IGLs, Internet Gaming Licensees, a new terminology, no doubt because the POGO brand, so to speak, has been so tarnished through the negative activities of those companies. He also announced that there will be somewhere between 55 and 65 new IGLs approved. He announced during the IAG Academy Summit that they will be going through this process, this probity process for the POGOs and announcing which ones make it through and will be licensed. So we'll be getting those, he says, by the end of October. Number 5, Okada announced their Q3 figures. Excellent numbers for Okada. Revenues up 9% sequentially to $218 million US. Their adjusted EBITDA was $63 million US. So what's that? Something like a little under 30, actually, it's almost 40, isn't it? Almost 40%, so 35%, something like that. So a nice, healthy adjusted EBITDA margin for Okada. Congratulations to Byron Yip and all the team over there at Okada. Number 4, JP Morgan came out and said that during Golden Week, the October Golden Week in Macau, revenues in the juiciest days were up to over 100 million US dollars a day. In fact, 103 million to be precise. And let's see how that translates in the Q4 results. But of course, we have the Q3 results coming out before that. Sands will be reporting their Q3 numbers soon. So Macau, again, really starting to boom. And number 3 on the list, another Macau booming story, 932,365 visitors. So nearly 1 million visitors during Golden Week, a daily average of 116,500 people a day. With a daily average hotel room rate of 1,800 MOP. So what is that? 900, 450, 225 US, 225 a night average daily room all across Macau. Of course, that means some rooms are over 500 US a night during Golden Week. And number 2, Citibank came out this week and said that premium mass players are now betting more than they were. The average minimum was 11% higher in October 2023, up to 2,350 Hong Kong dollars, or basically 300 US dollars. Was the average minimum bet across Macau compared to 271, so up, as I say, 11%. And so obviously even the mass players are betting more than they used to. And number 1, the biggest story this past week was that Morgan Stanley came out and said that the expected EBITDA for Q3, so we've got a reporting season just about to hit. We'll be getting all the Q3 numbers over the coming week or 2 or 3. Will be 79% of the pre-COVID EBITDA. So they're expecting a 1.7 billion US dollar EBITDA for the quarter, for the third quarter, which is a stupendous number, compared to 2023. I think they're expecting for the full 2023 year 6.4 billion EBITDA, and for 2024 they're expecting 8.9 billion EBITDA. So really getting up there to a big EBITDA number, almost basically where we were in 2019. I think 2024 is the year we hit all-time high, maybe not for revenue with the loss of the junkets, but certainly for EBITDA, which is fantastic. Just a few, so they're the top 10 of the week. Just a few more things, events for the rest of the year. So of course we've got the Power 50 on Friday, November the 3rd. You all should have your tickets for that. If you haven't, get a ticket, buy a ticket, beg, borrow, steal, find a sponsor and get a ticket off them, whatever you have to do to get a ticket for that great black tie event. It's our number one event for the year. It'll be at MGM Macau, Friday, November the 3rd from 6:30 p.m. And of course we'll have cocktails before, we'll have the gala dinner, and then we have the after party, and all of those will be at MGM Macau. November 14 and 15 is Macau Gaming Show. IAG will be running the seminar on November 14, just a one-day seminar on November the 14th, but 2-day expo. And of course that's going to be at the Galaxy International Convention Centre, a new place no longer at Venetian, and so it'll be great to see the new MySpace at Galaxy actually being used, and it's a absolutely glorious facility. If you haven't seen it yet, get down to Macau Gaming Show to take a look at it because it's pretty fantastic. Then we've got December 1, we've got MAD in Manila, Manila After Dark. It's our Christmas party, of course, our very first Christmas MAD in Manila, so that's exciting. That will be at Nobu Patio at City of Dreams. And then on December 15, we're back in Macau with our MAD Macau Christmas party, which traditionally every year, I think this is the 3rd year in a row we've done it, we run at Vasco Bar at Artisan Grand Lapa, and Rutger, the GM there at Artisan Grand Lapa, takes wonderful care of us, as does the rest of his team. So that's going to be a great party to end the year on December 15, just a few days before IAG breaks up for the year on December 19. We always traditionally end for the year on December 19 and give the very hard-working team at IAG a couple of weeks off and come back on the first Monday in January. So that's it from me from Las Vegas. Here. It's been a fantastic G2E. Really, really happy to have been here. And next year, the IAG team will definitely be back to G2E Vegas with more than just me. I think we'll definitely bring at least Ben and perhaps more. And we're also gearing up for 2024 ICE in London. There'll be a team of 5 from IAG at ICE London. So it's a great time for the industry. It's been very upbeat here in America, listening to all the keynote speakers and so forth. Very upbeat on the industry here, and the industry in Asia is well and truly back. We're nearly back to peak. Probably next year we'll hit peak, so it's a very exciting time for everyone. I'm flying back to Macau on Saturday, or back to Hong Kong I should say, on Saturday. So by the time you see this on Monday, I will be back in Hong Kong, and then back to Macau probably on Wednesday. So that's it. Have a great, I won't say weekend because you're seeing it on Monday, but have a great week, and we'll see you hopefully next week or the week after. And bye for now. Signing out, Andrew Scott signing out from Las Vegas. See you next time. Bye.